All right, Will, we're working on a post up here. We got a drop step, right? All right, want to drop step, want to get right here and go up. All right, here we go. Big defense. I'm playing half defense. Come on, Will. I want you to get around me, okay? You're gonna around me. Again, beat the feet, get your foot around. Will, here. Beat the feet. You see that? All right, beat the feet. You ready? Come on, get there. There you go, there we go. What don't you understand, son? Huh? Beat the, yeah, you get that ball and then you get on the baseline. Baseline. Get on the baseline. Okay, controlled articular rotations. Day 2's focus today, guys, is going to be a little more on the spine and a little bit more on the shoulders. So we'll start with the spine of our lumbar spine and lower back stuff. So I'm going to place the block in front of me, put my head on the block. I'm on my forearms, and I'm trying to flex, guys, as much as I can in my upper back. And then I'm going to hold my neck and upper back in place while I just start to move in my tailbone, lower back region. There's extension, and then I'm going to bring it right to as much flexion as I can. Again, trying to not move too much in that upper back. So go ahead and get in that forearm position with your head on the block and hunch back as much as you can in your upper back. So we keep that in place. There you go. Hold that right there, Will, and just move in that tailbone, but your pelvis will rotate too, right? Tailbone and then your lumbar vertebrae of your lower back. We have 5, some people have 6, believe it or not, lumbar vertebrae. So just think about moving within those 5 to 6 vertebrae of your lower back, tailbone including, and we'll do a couple repetitions each way, guys. And what I mean by each way is you might feel yourself starting from the lowest stuff, Will, working your way, go ahead, push against my finger, to the upper stuff, right? Freeze there. Now start to put that, tuck that tailbone down. Good, so that's one direction. And then next what you want to do is now keep yourself there. Don't move this stuff. Start to move from here first. Does that make sense? There you go, you're doing it. Good. Perfect. So you got that, Sam? We're going each direction. That should be 4 repetitions. Good movement there, guys. A lot of people have a tough time moving in their lower back region, probably because they're sitting on their arse a lot, right? Awesome, guys. So I'll tend to start in that lower back region, especially if I don't have much history on the human. I'm just assuming that, again, a lot of people do have a challenging time moving in that lower back, because now when you go into this entire spine flexion extension, which a lot of times we would call it a cat camel or a cat cow, just without the fancy names, just think of it like I'm again extending and flexing my entire spine. So here now my back of my head's toward my butt. I'm starting to, again, tailbone, pelvis, lower back. Where am I going now? Mid back, upper back, and then the neck, guys, okay? And then freezing there. I would start to articulate again, coming from lower, mid, upper, neck and head comes back into extension, okay? We have 33 vertebrae in our spine. Let's try to take our time, guys, and move each vertebrae one at a time. Your effort is about 20 to 30%, guys, nothing crazy, okay? But a little bit of tension. And I think you being there on your hands, knees, and toes, gripping the ground, certainly can provide you with a little bit of a radiation, right? If you guys remember yesterday, we talked about a radiation. We're just stiffening up or contracting your body, your whole body a little bit, so that we can get better movement from our vertebrae in this case, right? Good, Will. Awesome. Good. Push against my finger here. I'm just going to get you to hold that there and squeeze a little bit more out of it. There you go, dude. Good. Okay, guys. After we've got 2, from the bottom up is the direction you went. Good, Will. What we'll do next is don't move any of this stuff till last. Start to tuck down your chin to your chest. Good, so you're moving from your neck. Push against me up here, Will. There you go. You see what you're doing? You're working your way now down, and keep pushing against me. You're working your way down now into your lower back. Okay, Sam? So we'll start from top down this time, and you'll switch the direction. Keep pushing. My finger is just acting like a little biofeedback for you to push against. All right, hold this stuff now, Will, and start to come up here from the neck. Yeah, keep going. Neck up. Yep, more. Head to neck. Yeah, head into neck. Bringing that upper back down into extension. You got it, dude. And mid back. Solid into lower back. Sam, you're looking great there, dude. Or I'd come over here and give you some tender love and care too. Tender love and coaching. I'm gonna go with that. TLC, some tender love and coaching. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, sweet. So yesterday we were doing our shoulder blades or our scapula circles, right? Let's just do that now in a kneeling position today, as it certainly could be standing. Let's begin to irradiate a little bit, a little greater by squeezing each tennis ball right there beside you, Will. 30%, but now again, we're gonna put those arms out on that 45-degree angle. Excellent. Whole body tension, 30%. Moving shoulder blades, approximately 20, give or take, guys. Watch your head's not moving. The elbows aren't breaking. That already looks like better control than yesterday, fellas. No different than any other skill, just takes practice, okay? Good, stay there side view, Will, for the camera, that's great. Our shoulders, as you know from yesterday, right overhead, rotate at the top, bring it back. When we go backwards, you're here, freezing there, rotating, bringing her over top. Go for it. One at a time. Good hold, good tension on that side, Sam. Brilliant. The air is 30% more dense. Got a little bit of a breeze or a wind today. Imagine that wind is coming from all directions and you're resisting against that wind just a little bit, guys. And again, I think I'm seeing a big difference already from us doing these today from yesterday. Looking better, guys. Any cracking? Any cramping? Again, remember, no, not uncommon. Excellent. Keep going. You got both?
Yeah, I'm just doing the second arm.
Yep. As you guys are moving pretty well there, not having to coach you up very much yet. Sometimes people also twist and turn when they're doing these a lot. I think that stick can come in place too, or holding on or hugging a squat rack, right? Good strategy to kind of block people from doing any extra funky stuff. Just stay nice and tall, buddy, yep. Sometimes I come and stand there as a little cue for you to get it around my bald head. Nice, guys. So you remember the elbows rotating maximally out, flexing, rotating in, and then extending, bringing your elbows into a straightened position so your arms are long. Good. Basically big bicep curls and tricep extensions, but we're rotating. So again, guys, the fundamental movement or capacity of all your joints is rotation, except for the spine, but more flexion extension. There is rotation in parts of your spine like your neck and your upper back, very, very little in your lower back, mainly flexion and extension, but all your other joints need to rotate. So if you think about barbells, that straight barbell path of bench pressing, overhead pressing, even pull-ups, well, your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders like to rotate, right? So you're limiting your joints from doing that when you use a lot of barbells. I'm not against barbell work, but that's now where a good balance maybe of barbell versus dumbbell comes into play, right? Like you want a bit of both, okay? All right, so then the wrist, just keep one to your side, moving that other wrist as a cue. Sometimes I'd say, if I put that block there, don't knock the block over. Okay, so we can have fun with it. Sometimes people excessively move in their forearm just as a result of trying to move their wrist. You're good, stay with it. Good, remember what I told you yesterday? What do? Make it smaller. Make the movement smaller with better control in that elbow and forearm, right? You could hold on to it and prevent it from moving and try to move your joint bigger. But remember that first word in cars? Control, right? So it'd be better to control it and such, and then you just move your wrist joint, or any joint for that matter, a little smaller. Gain better access to control that way. And then over time, we can think about making them a little bigger and greater and not moving any other joints, okay? Wrists. I will save fingers for another day, but there are finger cars, guys, and I've had a couple broken fingers from basketball in my day. So again, that team sport of any ball, basketball, fingers might certainly be useful. You guys haven't had any issues with that though, knock on wood, no?
I've broken multiple fingers. Multiple
fingers? Okay, so we will certainly look at that, Will, next, because it can get interesting. Okay, from there, guys, I'm going to show you here swimmers. I'll give the camera a view from back here. Swimmers are now, we're going to interlace our hands over our behind our head and try not to let that push your head forward. So we're staying tall, and I'm now, Sam, you can't really see like Will can, but I'm bringing my hands and my elbows back off my head. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge at my elbows. So what letter am I here? Like a big letter Y. And then watch, here's where the magic happens, guys. I want you to rotate internally, bringing your bicep and thumbs down, and then bring your arms into like a letter A, right? Hinge at the elbows, keeping your upper arms there. You're going to pancake or sandwich your hands back over one another, but I'm not putting it on my lower back. That's the last step. And then I just place it back down. Simply reversing it and going faster, guys, just to show you. But right here again is where we really want to drive as much rotation as we can. Break down all those little steps and then slowly back. You don't need your tennis ball for this one. We got swimmers is really, guys, a bilateral version of moving your shoulders, right? A little more up here. Good. Rotate. Bring them down to that letter A. Keep them there. Your job is to keep it all behind you, guys. Hinge at the elbows now, flexing at the elbows. Interlace your hands over one another. Slowly parachute it back down to your back. Okay, good. So now we're reaching back off my lower back. Hinging at the elbows. Do the easy stuff, guys, too, at 30%, right? We don't want to rush that stuff. Rotating right over top of your head. Big letter Y for yes. Hinge at the elbows, flexing at the elbows, and then slowly parachute. Good. Second rep, guys. Second rep's going to be better than the first rep. Imagine you're this stick, Will. You're nice and tall, okay? There you go, buddy. Yep. And again, trying to squeeze everything back behind you. Guys, everything in life for the most part, and in your sport, involves your shoulders in front of you, right? So we need to kind of train and maybe offset that to find some balance by getting more on that posterior side, or of course behind you. Nice. Tall head, yep. It's tough, eh? Good?
Yeah.
Shoulders are lit up, huh?
Side delts.
All right. For our hips, because we are, even though we have more of a shoulder and spine focus there, we are going to do our lower extremities. If you remember here yesterday, we simply went internal and external rotation, right? And then we were side-lying, and you obviously get rotation here, doing the entire hip car. But what we're going to do today, guys, is kind of meet them in the middle. I'm going to flex my hip, I'm going to go to the side, I'm going to freeze right here, and I'm just going to do some rotation externally and internally, or internally rather and externally, back and forth, a couple reps. When you're done, I'm going to go back out here into internal rotation, and I'm going to finish it off. Okay? So again, we're just going to start that first one going halfway out, and then squeeze some rotation back and forth, a couple reps, and then bring her on backward and finish the whole hip car, okay? All right, guys, so we're pushing that body into the ground 30%. Heck, I'm gonna give you a little more. Give me 40%. Just bring these knees up, buddy, up. Push your stuff into the ground at 40, you're good, at 40%. Good, so there's internal rotation, Sam. And then we're going out and you're squeezing external rotation. Go ahead and do that one more time each way. Think like your knees are allergic to one another, guys. The greater you can separate your knees, your hips are more in an abducted position. If I keep that block here right now, let's do a backward hip car there, Sam, just like yesterday. If I keep that yoga block right beside your lower back, guys, try not to block or knock it over. Just come right back through, buddy. Yep. Cool. I just wanted to give you a little feedback with that yoga block, guys, because I'm asking you to split your knees as far apart as you can without rolling back. Does that make sense? Okay, switch sides. Good job. %, into the ground. I also like the yoga block. If we got them, let's use them, right? You could use it as a little pillow. Brilliant. Nice, so we're wringing out that wet towel, guys, just rotating in our hips, side to side there, or internally and externally. Good, Sam. Once you've done that and you've brought it back, go ahead and give me another backward one, Sam, because we're starting now an extension. Good, bringing it all out, abduction, and then some more rotation and flexion to finish. Lots of parts of the hips, right? There's 6 functions really here, guys. Internal, external rotation, abduction, adduction, and then you have flexion, extension, right? So I don't know if there's any other movement or exercise like your cars that allow you, because here's my standing car, right? Adduction, flexion, abduction, internal rotation, back into extension, and then it just reverses. Now it's external rotation, right? So when you're side lying, the only one you really can't get when you're side lying here is adduction. So that's just why I think it's really good. Here's another version I want to do with you guys one more time. If your leg is a little bit straighter, it's going to put a lot more pressure into that hip because it's just a longer lever, right? So watch what I do now. I am sliding my foot along the grass. Hey, there's hip adduction, right? The way I got that, and such that I'm also externally rotating, bring it out to the side, abduction. Here's internal rotation, bring it around. But watch what I'm gonna do back here, guys. I get also knee extension and knee flexion just by skimming my foot along the grass. You see that? And then right back. If you're daring enough to maybe keep that leg out a little bit straighter, I can guarantee you you'll feel just different stuff. Because play with it, guys. Because you got to remember, hey, these are not, there's no perfect movement. There's no perfect movement. I like a knee really flexed. Yesterday, Will, if you remember, I gave you that little tennis ball just to imagine what that tennis ball would feel like. So your knee is really, really bent in that regard or flexed. But here now, yeah, good. Try to play with it in such that your leg is a little straighter out, Sam. There you go. And then rotate that. Nice. So it's like I do use ankle weights and put ankle weights around my athletes' legs for these hip cars. But guys, if you just straighten out your leg and bring it out a little further away from you, like that's gonna feel like an ankle weight around you, right? Lots of good stimulus and information there, Sam, you're putting into your hip and your nervous system. Good job. And I think we can all agree we don't need a little mini booty band here to get our glutes lit up. We can get some good movement, guys. 2 reps would be great. Good movement here in your end range of those hip joints, the areas we don't often go in, right? Nice, Will. And then rotate it as much as you can. Monster hip. Good. Scrape that grass. Let's do this one now by really bending the knee. As much as you can bend it, feeling that hamstring. I know your hamstrings, you said, were a little sore from yesterday's pails and rails we did, right? So squeeze. So I'm just getting here, Will, to feel the difference between a really flexed knee, right, which might put more stress there in the hamstring compared to your knee being a little more extended, where I think you're feeling that hip light up a little more, yeah? So you can pick your poison, guys. Pick your own adventure. Choose your own adventure. You like knee really flexed, or do you like it a little more extended? I want both. And I'm stealing this from an excellent practitioner in this system of functional range conditioning, and my guy Dewey. And he refers to it as a Swiss Army knife. Like, I want my athletes to be Swiss Army knives. They have a lot of movement options, right, that they can choose from. A lot of variables here, guys. What I mean again by that is, what do you like? You like your knee bent? You like it more extended? Play with it. Sweet. Buttering up our hips, guys. Getting ready to get into what you guys suggested after doing now some of your cars from yesterday and today, because we did do a little bit more today than we did yesterday, or at least some different ones today than we did yesterday. I know we still haven't gotten into the tibia, the knee, the ankle, and the toes yet, but anything that sticks out of your mind today, guys? Are we still agreeing that hips are going to be a main focus?
Oh, yes.
Definitely. You did say hips and toes yesterday. What do you think? Anything else?
Shoulder.
I think those shoulder swimmers, guys, were a little different for you guys, and obviously we'll have to adapt a little more by implementing them in our training, right? Because as you know, we do a combination of strength exercises bilaterally and then unilaterally, so it works the same way with your cars, guys.